Have you ever caught your reflection for just a second and quietly wondered, am I still beautiful? Most women never say those words out loud, especially after a certain age, because somewhere along the way, the world starts getting quieter around older women. The compliments don't come as often. People stop noticing the little things, and society slowly teaches us that beauty belongs only to the young. But I've lived long enough to tell you something honest. That simply isn't true. Real beauty doesn't disappear with age. It changes shape. It softens. It deepens. At 72, I no longer look the way I did at 30. And truthfully, I wouldn't want to. Because the woman I see now carries stories in her eyes, strength in her posture, grace in the way she speaks, and a kind of warmth that only time can create. You see, many older women still radiate beauty every single day. They just don't recognize it anymore because they're searching for the wrong signs. They look for flawless skin instead of peaceful confidence, for youth instead of presence, for attention instead of quiet admiration. So today, I want to share something deeply personal with you. 7 gentle signs that you are still a beautiful woman, even if nobody has said it lately. And maybe, by the end of this conversation, you'll begin seeing yourself with softer eyes too. The first sign is surprisingly simple. People are often shocked when they learn your real age. Have you noticed that? Someone pauses after hearing your birth year. A cashier says, "I thought you were much younger." A neighbor looks genuinely surprised when you mention your grandchildren. Those moments matter more than you think, because beauty at this stage of life isn't measured only by wrinkles or gray hair. People respond to energy, to kindness, to the way you carry yourself. I remember a woman named Helen from my book club. She was 71, always dressed simply, never flashy, but whenever she walked into a room, people naturally smiled at her. One afternoon, a younger woman asked her, "How do you stay so youthful?" Helen laughed and said, "I stopped fighting my age and started taking care of my spirit instead." And honestly, I think that was her secret. Women who age beautifully are rarely obsessed with looking young. They simply feel comfortable being themselves, and people notice that. The second sign? People still notice you when you enter a room, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. A glance that lingers a second longer, someone moving aside for you with warmth, a stranger smiling at you for no clear reason at all. That's presence, and presence is incredibly attractive. At our age, beauty becomes less about perfection and more about how people feel around you. I once attended a community luncheon wearing nothing special, just a soft blue dress and pearl earrings. And yet several women came over to speak with me, not because I looked glamorous, but because I looked peaceful. There's something magnetic about a woman who has survived life and still carries gentleness in her heart. The third sign is one many women dismiss too quickly. Strangers compliment your smile, your eyes, or your style. And no, they are not just being polite. Strangers have no obligation to flatter you. So when someone says, "You have kind eyes," or "I love your smile," believe them. Those compliments usually have very little to do with makeup or perfect features. People are responding to warmth, to emotional energy, to the comfort they feel in your presence. A genuine smile at 70 can be far more beautiful than flawless skin at 25. And let me tell you something else. Women who smile with sincerity become unforgettable. The fourth sign is especially meaningful. Other women your age ask about your hair, your skin, or the way you dress. That may sound small, but it's actually a form of admiration. Because women our age understand effort. We know what it takes to care for ourselves through loss, stress, family responsibilities, sleepless nights, and changing bodies. So when another woman asks, "What lipstick do you wear?" or "How is your hair still so healthy?" what she's really saying is, "There's something beautiful about you that I noticed." And beauty shared between women is one of the sincerest kinds there is. The fifth sign is hidden in the words people use to describe you. Maybe they don't call you pretty anymore. Instead, they say you're graceful, elegant, charming, lovely to be around. Please don't underestimate those words. A graceful woman leaves a deeper impression than someone who is merely attractive. Grace is beauty mixed with wisdom. Elegance is confidence without arrogance. Charm is warmth that makes others feel safe. Those qualities grow stronger with age, not weaker. The sixth sign appears in small, everyday gestures. People still offer kindness naturally around you. Someone holds the door open with a smile. A younger person offers you their seat. A cashier starts a warm conversation for no reason at all. These things are not always about age. Often, they are responses to feminine energy, dignity, and presence. People instinctively soften around women who carry themselves with quiet confidence. And finally, perhaps the most beautiful sign of all, you've started feeling more comfortable in your own skin. Not perfect, not flawless, just peaceful. You no longer spend every moment criticizing your reflection. You don't feel desperate to compete with younger women. You laugh more easily. You dress for yourself. You allow yourself to simply exist without apology. That kind of self-acceptance is radiant. I remember standing in front of my mirror shortly after my 72nd birthday. The lines on my face were still there. My hair was silver. My hands looked older than I remembered. But for the first time in many years, I smiled at myself gently. Not because I looked young, but because I finally saw a woman who had endured life with courage. And that realization changed something inside me. So if you've been wondering whether beauty still belongs to you, please hear this from one woman to another. Yes, it does. Your beauty didn't disappear. It evolved. It lives in your laughter, in your resilience, in your kindness, in your calm presence, in the wisdom behind your eyes. And the right people still see it, even when you don't. So take care of yourself gently. Wear the colors you love, smile more often, stand tall when you walk into a room, because you are not fading away, you are becoming.